Right now, scattered across this planet, there are ghost projects. Airports with no planes, hotels with no guests, tunnels that lead to nothing. Everything around us holds a secret, waiting for the right moment to appear. They built this place for that exact purpose, for the same hidden reason.
5 of the most expensive failures in human history, and they all collapsed for the same hidden reason. These aren't small mistakes. These are projects so ambitious, so over budget, and so politically toxic that entire governments chose to walk away rather than finish them. Billions vanished, and the pattern behind every single failure will disturb you. In 1991, America started building the most powerful machine in human history, the Superconducting Supercollider, an 87-kilometer underground tunnel beneath Texas, 3 times larger than CERN. Inside it, protons would be smashed together at 99.9% the speed of light to find the Higgs boson, the particle that gives everything in the universe its mass. The budget was $4.4 billion. Workers bored 22 kilometers of tunnel. 17 shafts were sunk. Laboratories were built. Over 2,000 scientists relocated their families to a small Texas town. The future of physics was in the ground. Then the budget ballooned to $11 billion. The Cold War ended, and the political urgency to prove American science vanished overnight. On October 21, 1993, the House voted 282 to 143 to kill it. $2 billion already spent, 14 miles of tunnel already dug, all of it sealed and abandoned. The Higgs boson was eventually discovered in 2012, not in Texas, but at CERN in Switzerland. America had the tunnel. America had the scientists. It just didn't have the will to finish. Those tunnels were sold to a chemical company for 5 cents on the dollar. In 1987, North Korea began building a 105-story pyramid hotel in Pyongyang, the Ryugyong Hotel. 3,000 rooms, 5 revolving restaurants, taller than anything in Europe. It was a Cold War ego project, a direct response to South Korea building the world's tallest hotel. There was one problem. North Korea could barely feed its own people. By 1992, the Soviet Union collapsed. Foreign aid vanished. Then came the famine. Up to 2.5 million people died of starvation. The hotel was abandoned at 75% completion. No windows, no plumbing, no electricity. Just a hollow concrete shell, the tallest unoccupied building on Earth. For 16 years, it stood completely empty. The government was so embarrassed, they airbrushed it out of official photos. In 2008, an Egyptian company clad the outside in glass. But behind that glass, nothing. No elevators, no rooms, no guests. 38 years later, the Ryugyong Hotel has never welcomed a single visitor. A 105-story monument to what happens when ego writes checks that an entire nation cannot cash. America has 80,000 tons of nuclear waste sitting in temporary storage across 34 states, some next to rivers, some near cities. It was always supposed to be temporary. In 1987, Congress chose the permanent solution, Yucca Mountain, Nevada, a bone-dry ridge in the desert. Over 20 years, the government spent $15 billion drilling, tunneling, and testing. 5 miles of tunnel bored directly into the mountain. Custom waste containers engineered to last 10,000 years. In 2008, the science was done. The NRC confirmed it met every safety requirement. Everything was ready. Then one senator from Nevada said no. By 2011, the project was defunded, the tunnel sealed, the staff sent home. The Government Accountability Office later confirmed the decision was political, not scientific. Today, that nuclear waste is still sitting where it was 40 years ago. The $15 billion solution? A sealed tunnel that nobody is allowed to enter. In 2003, Dubai announced the most audacious real estate project ever. 300 artificial islands shaped like a map of the world, visible from space. Investors could buy Germany or Brazil and build whatever they wanted. They dredged 321 million cubic meters of sand from the ocean floor. By 2008, all 300 islands were complete. From the sky, it was breathtaking. Then the global financial crisis hit. Nikhil, the company behind it, was drowning in $80 billion of debt. Investors fled. The infrastructure to connect the islands, water, electricity, sewage, was never built. They were just sand. Then satellite imagery suggested the islands were sinking. The ocean was slowly reclaiming what had been taken. Today, 90% of them sit completely undeveloped. 300 silent islands shaped like a world that nobody lives in. A $14 billion monument built on sand, in every sense of the word. In 2006, Germany broke ground on Berlin-Brandenburg Airport, the engineering capital of Europe. Budget, 2 billion euros. Opening, October 2011. Simple, professional, German. It took 14 years. 4 weeks before the rescheduled opening, they discovered 120,000 construction defects. The fire safety system failed every test. Cables were wired backward. Escalators were too short. Walls weren't straight. The reason? Germany made an unbelievable decision. No general contractor. Politicians tried to manage hundreds of subcontractors themselves, like conducting an orchestra with no sheet music. For 8 years, the fully built airport sat completely empty. Trains ran with no passengers. Baggage carousels spun with no luggage. Lights turned on for nobody. It finally opened in 2020, 9 years late during a pandemic. Final cost, 7 billion euros, 3.5 times the budget, 5 projects, tens of billions of dollars. And they all failed for the same reasons. The science worked, the engineering worked, the construction was underway. Not one of these projects was impossible. They failed because of politics, ego, corruption, and fear. The biggest obstacle to building the future is never the engineering, it's us. Which failure shocked you the most? Drop it in the comments. Subscribe for more stories about the world's most terrifying engineering disasters. I'll see you in the next one.